Wow. Okay. All right. Let's think about this one. How are we going to talk about this one, guys? How are we going to discuss this one? I should be pretty well versed in this, right? Because I've seen my team play that game a lot. I see my team play games just like that all the time. What I just watched the last 3+ hours, I've seen it all the time as a Seahawks fan. And if you, the viewer, are a Seahawks and Huskies fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because that game the Huskies just played felt just like a Seahawks game that we've seen over the past 8 to 10 years, feels like a dozen times. But you never come to expect it. It never becomes normal. It never becomes the norm. Every time you see that a game like that play out that way, you feel like this is the time it ends differently. And sometimes it does, but it never feels normal and it never feels easy to discuss. Even though I should be good at it by now, I should be well versed in this. I should have a lot of practice talking about watching my football team win a game despite getting outplayed for what feels like the whole game. I feel like I just watched a boxing match, a 15-round boxing match where one boxer won the first 14 rounds and then the other boxer wins by knockout in the 15th. And it just doesn't make any sense, but it happened. That's what I kind of feel like tonight. And I know today was more of a tale of two halves, but it was such a stark contrast between the halves that it really just felt like we were getting beat up that whole game. Even in the third quarter and early in the fourth quarter when good things started to happen for us, still felt like we were on our heels, still felt like we were really struggling on both sides of the ball, but some way, somehow, 21-0 at half turns into 24-21 at the buzzer. Washington wins 24-21. And yeah, it doesn't get easy to talk about these games, no matter how many times I see it happen. So offensively, well, let's just start with the first half, because let's talk about this game in terms of halves, because this game was not about, you know, this part of the ball, that part of the ball, this side of the team, that side of the team, this section of the depth chart. This was about the first half versus the second half. First half, my God, Dylan Morris, awful. My confidence in Dylan Morris was and is still somewhat shaken. Sam Heward, your job next year may very well be safe. Sorry. Sorry, I have to be real. That was terrible. Right off the bat, terrible interception right to the defender where he had an open dude and then threw to him 3 seconds too late. Another terrible ball that should have been picked and should have been a pick six. Somehow the defender drops it. A couple other bad decisions where he clearly had an open man for a first down and just didn't get it to him. A couple bad throws. Just as bad a first half as you can have from a QB. Running game, McGrew busted a 26-yard run. Pleasant had an 11-yard run. And somehow, at the end of this game, we only had 88 total rushing yards. 88 rushing yards from this team. That's bad. 3.4 yards a carry. And this play calling, don't get me wrong, I'm not absolving the players. Dylan Morris objectively sucked out there today. The running backs didn't play great. The offensive line can't run block at all. For almost this whole game, they couldn't run block, especially on plays up the middle. But I'm really looking at the play calling tonight as being especially atrocious. How many times today did we have 2nd and 10 and run the ball up the middle? I want to know. Somebody let me know. Because running up the middle did not work today. We kept plowing the ball up the gut. We didn't have Richard Newton tonight. I don't know exactly why, but we didn't have him. And my thinking was, okay, you don't have Richard Newton, who is your best power runner. You got to run to the edges with McGrew, with Pleasant, with Cameron Davis. That seems to be their game a little more than just running the ball up the gut. But no, we just kept running the ball up the middle for a yard, maybe 2, maybe nothing. Just 2 yards and a cloud of dust, and that was the best case scenario. So yeah, the play calling tonight was really bad. We needed to abandon the run a little quicker than we did. And I know Dylan Morris sucked tonight, but when we got down 3 touchdowns, when it became clear that our defense couldn't stop the run, when it became clear that, we needed big plays, we needed to quickly try to get back into this game, we needed to abandon the run quicker than we did. And not only did we not abandon the run, we were still running the ball on 2nd and 10 when we knew that play wasn't working. And it never worked tonight. Maybe we produced a really nice play on runs up the gut once or twice the whole game, but for almost that whole game, it felt like we may as well have just taken a knee every time we ran the ball up the middle. And you can put that on the players for not executing on the offensive line, and I do, but you got to not call those plays. You got to call running plays to the outside. You got to try the edges. Or you got to just let Dylan Murphy either swim or drown. And I know he sucked for most of this game, believe me. Even in the second half, I was not overly impressed until the last drive, but you got to let him go out there and either win or lose this game, because we wasted so many plays and possessions on just doing what wasn't working, beating our head into the wall. So yeah, offensively, play calling, I got some real questions about the decisions made by the coaching staff when it came to running the ball on 2nd and long over and over and over again. We were lucky we had Cade Otton, who, by the way, incredible couple of weeks for Cade Otton. That dude may well be playing on Sunday in a year or two. Nasua, we had a couple big plays from him, although he did drop a couple, I think. Terrell Bynum made some plays on the ground and through the air. And thank God we got the plays we did, because we kept putting our offense in bad situations. But yeah, first half, brutal. Nothing good on that offense. And defensively, forced the early turnover. By the way, ZTF, have fun on your first round rookie contract, because you are going to be playing in the NFL and you are going to be making some big boy bucks, I think, because somebody's going to use a first round pick on you. My God, that guy is incredible. I think he might be more destructive than Kikaha was a few years ago for us. And, Kikaha was a great pass rusher for us, but I think ZTF might be more destructive. We need to see a few more games, but ZTF is something special, I think. But other than him, run defense, holy shit. 200 yards to this Utah rushing attack. 200 yards. Ty Jordan getting everything he wanted. Devin Brumfeld, he was involved too. Just bad, guys. Just bad. And for a Utah team that didn't do that much on offense against USC, this was tough to watch for that first half. Jake Bentley, he had a solid first half as well, I thought. We got a little bit of pressure on him, but the secondary was getting beat. He was making nice throws. The plays where we didn't get pressure on him, it seemed like Utah was pretty much getting whatever they wanted. And it tightened up in the second half, don't get me wrong. But we still couldn't stop the run. In fact, I honestly think if Utah just ran the ball on every single play in the second half, they would have won this game. I don't know why they got away from the run as much as they did. I think they could have just run the ball and won the game. They could have literally just done wildcat plays, and I don't know how we would have stopped it. We couldn't stop runs up the gut. The best thing Utah did for us in that second half was throw the ball or run those wide receiver jet sweeps, because we actually did a better job stopping those than we did runs up the gut. Now, that being said, the second half comes around, and don't get me wrong, I think Utah did us some favors in that second half by, like I said, they kept passing the ball when they didn't need to. We got the pick. We got the fumble in the red zone on what would have been likely the game-ending scoring drive for Utah had they managed to convert that into even a field goal. A touchdown certainly would have ended the game. And at the end of the day, somehow, some way, this defense allowed 0 points. And again, Utah probably screwed it up. They probably could have won this game just running the ball up the gut on every single play in that second half, and I don't think we could have stopped it because our defensive line cannot stop the run, and our linebackers, not that good. We miss BBK. We miss a lot of people right now. But Eric Molden made a big play. He made a couple big plays, actually. And at the end of the day, the defense was able to man up enough to get off the field over and over and over again. and keep giving this offense chances. And until that last drive, it really looked like this offense was going to blow it because we saw good stuff. Morris got his act together a little bit in that second half, but then off the interception by Molden, we get the ball in great field position, can't punch it in, settle for 3. The fumble. We get a big fumble recovery to take points off the board for Utah. Return it to near midfield, 3 and out, punting. We flip field position, but the offense is leaving opportunities to take control of the game on the board. And then at the end, of course, the interception, the last interception for Morris, the third one, where he's got Ty Jones 10 yards behind the defense for a touchdown. He leads him. He throws the ball in front of him. It's a touchdown. We take the lead. We may end up losing that way. Don't get me wrong, because Utah would have had a ton of time. But that's a touchdown. And Dylan Morris underthrows him by a good 15, 20 yards. Intercepted off a deflection. And when that happened, I was like, I really don't know about this guy. Like, Sam Heward, good luck next year, because you might not have such a hard time beating this guy out for the starting job after all. But you know what? When they needed it, they didn't even let it get to 4th down. That final drive, they cut down the field. Morris makes several good throws. Puka Nacua makes some great catches. Cade Otton hauls in the touchdown. Offensive line. One thing you cannot say about this offensive line is that their pass blocking is a problem. Their pass blocking is clean. I can't believe how clean it is, actually. I don't think Dylan Morris has gotten sacked once in 3 games. So whatever I can say about the run blocking, which on this night was not very good, wow, they can pass block. And you got to give Dylan Morris credit. He manned up at the end of the game, made some big boy throws, did some really good stuff, and won the game. Now, that doesn't take away from the problems we clearly had, because that was an abysmal first half for Dylan Morris, and he still had problems in the second half. And this defense still cannot stop the run. We're 3 games in. We have some pretty conclusive evidence that indicates that we just can't stop the run very well. But the team got the win. 24-21. 3-0. 3-0 in conference. Big game against Oregon coming up. Oregon just lost. You can beat them. The Pac-12 is yours for the taking. All you got to do then is take out USC in a presumable Pac-12 title game. So yeah, weird game. It's the kind of game that as a Seahawks fan I'm very familiar with, but it never gets old. It never becomes familiar. It never becomes, oh, well, you know, I expected them to come back and win at halftime. Of course not. No, I saw nothing in the first half. Even the special teams. I mean, the Jimmy Lake stock plummeted in this game. 35-yard field goal, a frustrating field goal you have to settle for, by the way. We fake a fake, pick up a delay of game, and then our shaky field goal kicker misses a 40-yard field goal that would have been good from 35. And I'm thinking to myself, I wanted to go for it. I did. But go for it. Don't do this fake garbage and then pick up 5 yards that kills your crappy kicker, because your kicker needs those stupid 5 yards. So even the special teams, oh man. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about after that first half, but team pulled it out, and I'm happy. It was a great second half. We made a lot of good plays on both sides of the ball. Not to say it was all perfect, but 24-0 is going to win you a lot of games. 24-0 in the second half will get you the dub in a lot of games. And I think that's going to do it for me. I don't know if Washington is going to be ranked after that performance. I don't know if they deserve it. I have to question a lot of my priors on this team. I saw some stuff from Jimmy Lake tonight that I really didn't like. I saw some stuff from the play calling I didn't like. I saw some stuff from the offensive line, Morris, some of the players on defense. I saw a lot of stuff tonight I didn't like that I didn't see against Arizona. But the team was granted a reprieve. I think Utah deserves some of that credit for not just running the ball in the second half, but however you can get it. And this is a long video, especially for the Huskies, but this was a big, weird game, and I wanted to talk about it. So, Halo stream coming up soon. See you guys there. bow down to Washington, and I'm out.